I'll buy you a new boot. Don't you worry.
Well, it wasn't much of a kick. So go and ask me your questions first before I pontificate about my appearance on Bill Maher last Friday.
You loved this tweet. Someone said, imagine a Smurf on speed, vomiting out an endless stream of right-wing dog whistles, straw men, and lies, only to coil up in a fetal position and whine about censorship and cancel culture every time he's called out on his bull. And you've got a pretty good picture. And you just said angry chipmunk defined.
Somehow Ben Shapiro came there with the impression that he was there to debate me on critical race theory. I came as a panelist, which means, as you know, I'm a regular on the show. I guess I've been on now total of 5 times. And he, I come and I just discuss whatever the panel is discussing du jour.
Right.
So we're prepped on a lot of issues, a lot of questions. I don't really know who Ben Shapiro is. I don't watch his show. I know that, some people told me that he was the Republicans' intellectual.
Yeah.
And that, he was their big debate guy. But I do recall him from one very important incident that happened. I guess it was, 2, actually. The first one was when a gentleman named Andrew Neil from the BBC, who, if any of you follow the BBC, I have been on the BBC. I've been on Hard Talk, which is without a question the most difficult talk show in the world. They pull no punches on that show.
Yeah.
He was not on that show. But Andrew Neil is a hardcore British conservative. I mean, he's from the Margaret Thatcher school, Ronald Reagan school of geopolitics. And Ben Shapiro went on his show to discuss his book, I guess, about, liberals being fascist and whatever he writes about. I don't really know. I don't really care. And so Andrew Neil really just asked him very simple, straight, journalistic pointed questions. Go watch the video. Just put Ben Shapiro BBC interview. And he gets upset with being asked just general questions by a hardcore conservative. And he throws his mic off and says, well, you're just a liberal. I'm done with you. And storms out like a Smurf.
Yeah.
Right? That's all I really knew about him. That and the WAP controversy of the Cardi B song and Megan Thee Stallion song, where he read the lyrics to this extremely naughty video on air.
I believe we have that actually.
Yeah.
And got ripped to shreds.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's I was just going to say none of us will ever want to get laid again, but okay, go ahead.
Here are some of the lyrics. You ready? Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. Hold up. I said certified freaks 7 days a week. Wet ass P-word.
Wow, that's I didn't think that could not be hot, but it's
not hot.
Okay. Right.
This is their intellectual.
Yeah.
Well, you said I define you were talking about autocracy. You said I define autocracy. It's not someone on Twitter calling you bad names. The Western world was teetering on the edge of an axis of autocrats under Trump and Putin. You can't ignore an insurrection to install a dictator and say it's actually avocado toast liberalism. So I just thought you were, and you said I'm going to retweet. Somebody posted the clip of you two, and you said I'll retweet this clip endlessly because I apparently drive Ben Shapiro fans insane by refusing to play into his angry chipmunk routine. Why? I don't debate a flyweight fascist because he's dishonorable, untrustworthy troll pretending to be a thinking human. My favorite was when you said, "Is this what your show is like?" Because it sucks.
Well, let me explain that in context, because there's been a lot of questions about that. The right-wing Ben Shapiro rage world, which apparently is based on the fact that they love that he espouses all these crazy ideas. He's got 2 million followers of people, again, who think he's an intellectual. I am not an intellectual, right? I am a person who is grounded in experience, my worldly knowledge, and, of course, having people try to kill me for almost 30 years. So I have a little bit of an edge on him. This is a guy who went to Harvard Law School, never practiced law. Okay? When I went to spy school, I spent 30 years practicing spy stuff. So he really fascinates me that he's this 37-year-old. And I'll be honest, here's the term that I use, and I don't mean it loosely. He's a kid.
Yeah.
And at 37-year-old, you should be grounded in something more than you want to be a right-wing rage monster. So here's what happened. We get on the stage. He comes out. The question of the day was about critical race theory. And of course, I will give him his props. He defined critical race theory precisely accurate as it comes from the textbook. The problem is no one's teaching this textbook.
Right.
Except in
critical
law school.
race theory is a made-up controversy in their mind.
Thank you.
Sort of like WAP. So it just absolutely fascinated me.
It's a made-up theory in my life.
Saying all these things. And what I said to him was, I think it's awesome that you've defined it exactly correctly. He did not expect that. He did not expect me to agree with his definition. And then I just extended it further. I said, the problem is that you're using this like a cudgel against black people. And my great-great-grandfather, who fought in the Civil War and the Indian War, he would take issue with that. But he wouldn't have thought that in 2021, his great-great-grandson would have to sit on the stage with this moron and actually try to fight the entire 180 years or 70 years it's been since he ran away from slavery. This guy took all of this and then came back, and here's what he said. So you agree about critical race theory? I said, I didn't say that. And he said, no, you agree with critical race theory. I said, I'm going to say again, because by the way, when I make that little voice, I've lost my temper with you. But I'm about to mock you in a way that if you don't have 30 years of being mocked in a military base, a ship or a submarine, you're about to get ruthlessly destroyed. So I go, I'm saying it again. I did not say that. And then he says it a third time. You believe in critical race theory. And that's when I realized, it popped into my head. This is his whole spiel. This is his whole game. All he does is try to frame you with a lie. Right out the box, he comes out with, you're a liar. For all you people who said that I insulted him. Here's what I said. So this is how you run your show? Well, it sucks.
Exactly. And thank you.
Baby talk.
Thank you to the person that tweeted. Malcolm Nance put his life on the line to defend the United States of America. Ben Shapiro, a.k.a. the helium homunculus, is an internet troll who dies every day on stupid hills in order to get likes and retweets from his sad incel base. Thank you. All right, so let's get to more. Go ahead.
Well, I got one more thing to say about this because, it was very important show because all of these people in the right-wing world were saying, he came with facts and you didn't debate him. You were descended into insults. Well, here's the deal for all of your listeners. There's no debate. Don't debate these people ever. Right? This is a trap they want to get you into.
I mean, they're not, as you say, they're not teaching critical race anyway. They draw you into this debate that's about nothing. That's about,
about anything. Anything they say they want to engage you on and have an intellectual discourse is all about owning the libs and liberal tears. This guy had to get Jenna Ellis, Trump's lawyer, who may have her own lawsuit problem here with Dominion soon enough, to come out and cry conservative snowflake tears to say I was mean to Ben Shapiro. Don't ever debate these people. Don't engage. Don't debate. Don't have arguments. Call out what they're doing, which is a lie. This is the new caravans. It's the new liberals hate America. Don't play that game. And when I didn't play that game, their little heads exploded.
I know, exactly. All right, let's get to, I'm not know if it's more important than the overthrow of the United States of America, but I just thought you might want to talk about Trump. Okay, so this is the latest today. Trump asked the country's top legal official in late December about a conspiratorial draft complaint aimed at overturning the 2020 election, according to a previously unreported account of Trump's phone call with acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen. Rosen persuaded Trump the lawsuit wasn't a good idea. The previously unreported details underscore how hard DOJ lawyers worked to shoot down the increasingly harebrained legal strategies that reached the president's desk. Why the president wanted to know wasn't the Justice Department doing more about the election. The complaint was being circulated by an outside group helmed by Kurt Olson, the attorney who represented Texas in its own failed lawsuit. challenging Trump's loss. The complaint, modeled on the Texas suit, would have urged the Supreme Court to declare the electoral votes from 6 key swing states lost by Trump cannot be counted because of baseless accusations of fraud, and for the justices to order a special election for the president to be held in those states. I mean, Malcolm, you warned, as usual, and were right before the election, we have to overwhelm the polls. I mean, had this been closer, Malcolm, or come down to one state, had this not been a landslide of 7 million votes and in all these states, had one domino gone this way or that, this could have succeeded, couldn't it?
Absolutely could have succeeded. It was very, very close. And you notice we're only hearing about that now in August, 8 months later. We should have heard about this the minute this happened. Any person with integrity, any one of us would have said, oh, that's very interesting, Mr. President. We can't do that. And then he would have said, excuse me, I have a press conference to hold. And I would have walked outside and dropped all the dimes, right? My integrity cannot be purchased. These people held this secret. I've mentioned this before. I've said this on air. Lawyers are really clubby with each other. Okay, I've sat in a room of lawyers, very high-powered lawyers, and they sit around, they discuss where they went to school, which firms they were at. And they do sort of hold cards that they should actually drop and reveal to the general public, but they withhold them because they're lawyers. And we see, and they believe in their privileges. If those privileges are going to destroy American democracy, they must be exposed. We came very closely, and that brings me to my weekly rant. November 2022 is coming. We are going to lose this thing. I'll tell you right now, the Republicans are organized. We're sitting here fighting amongst each other about whether we do soft power infrastructure. We've already got a Democratic senator essentially saying the $3.2 trillion new infrastructure plan is dead because he doesn't want it. I mean, we're talking about Steve, obviously the distinguished senator from West Virginia. So right now, we have an opportunity in 2022, if Democrats mobilize like they did in 2020 with the same numbers, which, by the way, many of you voted against Trump and did not vote for Democratic congressmen. You didn't vote down ticket. And we lost how many seats? 14, 16 seats?
Yeah. Well,
right?
And
we are going to be a bloodbath in 2022.
I mean,
American democracy will end on that election day if we don't turn out.
And Malcolm, you retweeted
more than we did last year.
You retweeted Art Levine saying, if Gavin Newsom doesn't win 50% of the vote, he's forced to leave office, and a fringe pro-Trump extremist becomes governor, then appoints the next Democratic senator. When Feinstein leaves or dies, the future of our nation is at stake. I mean, we got to wake up everywhere. I was there for the last
recall. I lived in San Diego when the last recall happened, and they put Arnold Schwarzenegger in power, right? Yeah. And that was all novel and fun.
Yeah,
okay?
Deficit. Yeah.
This is ridiculous. California, save your state.
Yeah.
Mobilize.
Yeah.
Turn out.
Yeah.
Turn out everybody. Make this a wash. This shouldn't be one of these elections where you win by 19,000 votes. You need to win by 1 million votes, 2 million votes. If you're too lazy to save your state, then you'll be too lazy to save America next November. Yeah. And it will all be over. The Republicans bank on you being lazy, right? And then intellectuals like Ben Shapiro can lecture us from the commissar's office, right? I mean, this is absolutely ludicrous how we're playing this game. Fight to win, or don't fight at all.
All right.
Right?
This
and
segment
then lose everything you've ever had.
This segment is being screamed at on a boat in the Navy. That's what this has become. I am in the Navy.
Yes.
We are all in the Navy every time Malcolm Nance is here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Chief. Is it? What is it? What do we call it? Master Chief? Master Chief.
Senior Chief.
Senior
Master
Chief.
Chief.
Yes,
my dad.
sir.
Ask yourself 2 questions. Is my participation in democracy important only every couple of years? And why does the filibuster still exist? Well, the answers to both are up to you. Democracy is a continuous process, and if you don't voice your priorities, your voice will not be heard. The The filibuster? Its supporters say it exists to promote debate. It does not. It promotes massive gridlock. Ever since your school days, you were involved in elections where the majority vote prevailed. Why isn't that true of every vote that occurs? Why isn't that true in the U.S. Senate? There, the filibuster rules, and that's why nothing gets done. Let's tell our senators, we want you to discuss the issues, debate them, and then let the majority rule. Please visit letmajorityrule.org to learn more. That's letmajorityrule.org. LetMajorityRule.org is a project of the Marvin Lucas Super PAC, which is responsible for and paid for this ad and is not affiliated with or authorized by any political campaign or candidate or candidates committee.